Hey, coach, I want to let you know how well I know you. Not in a creepy way, not like, hey, I've been going through your rubbish, I've not been going through your, for the Americans, through your garbage at the bottom of your driveway. I'm just going to find a place to perch in my wonderful garden without getting bitten by ants. But yeah, I want to let you know how well I actually know you, how intimately I understand the current situation, current dilemma you're in, and then, whether you're going to do something about it. But also, I'll share with you what I've been doing and what I decided to do. And some of that stuff happened by accident, and some of that stuff happened on purpose. And so, I'll tell you straight away, the situation that you're in is you're an expert, but you find being called an expert by other people, and particularly saying it out loud, and even me calling you an expert right now, maybe sounds a little bit cringy, but that's okay, because you're fucking good at what you do, right? And I don't just mean you're an expert because you've got some certificates, and your mum's really proud about what you do because you've got a social media account and you get some views. No, I mean you've got time in seat. You've got genuine experience with hundreds of people, helping them with the thing that you're really fucking good at. And you were good at this thing before you got qualified, before you had to get certified, because the world's gone mad with certifications, in my opinion. And if you don't have qualifications, then who the hell are you? I personally, side story, I prefer learning from people and spending time with people that are not strewn with certifications and qualifications, to be honest, because my opinion and my experience is often if there's a way of doing things and then a lot of people are taught that one way of doing things, then it dilutes down people's creativity and their creative mental space. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't have to be yours. But I know you've got something pretty special. And I know you've either thought about writing a book, or you're in the middle of writing one, or maybe you've already written one before. I know that if I was to speak to, the tens, if not hundreds of people that you've already helped, that they would all be able to say what you do and narrate that thing far better than you've ever been able to do. And I also know that you're hugely frustrated with being scared of showing up, sounding, smelling, and tasting like every other loser on social media. All the other coaches that maybe are in the same industry as you, but in order to try and grab attention and grow your social media and, maybe get inquiries and leads and stuff, maybe you feel a little bit lost in the sea of who am I? What am I supposed to be saying? Been there, done that. It's fucking annoying. And maybe you know some other people as well. And maybe you feel a little bit alone on this. But I want to let you know that I know your situation. I know how frustrating it can be and how sometimes you're okay with it and you just shrug it off and you just kind of get on with the day-to-day. And other times you just think, what is the point in all of this? What am I actually, what am I fucking doing it for? And I know you want to make more money as well. I know saying that out loud can sometimes feel a little bit cringy, a little bit icky. But I know you want to, because with that also comes the impact that you're wanting to have, on the people, and you get to flex that expert thing, that magical box of tricks that nobody else has with those people, and then you get to hear them telling you and showing you all of those changes that you've had in their life. If that's not you, probably your time to tune out. If that is you and you're like, yeah, you're really speaking to my heart and soul right now, Rich, then brilliant. So what can you do about that? Well, first thing, this is going to sound really obvious. I'm a simple guy. I like to keep life, business, and everything that I do as simple as possible. I think there's enough complexity in the world. So simplicity is something that I seek absolutely everywhere I go. So the first thing I would tell you is actually trust and know that what you know right now and all the experience you've already got is good enough for you to just show up as you. For you to just flex. Is that the right word? That might be a bit weird. Are we allowed to say cool kid, young, hip person things as we get older? I don't know. I'm going to say it anyway. But it's all right for you to come on and just flex and talk about how great you are and share that expertise. You can do that directly or indirectly. But what might that look like? And maybe I'll just give you a little bit of context to help you understand. So for me, in real world context right now, I don't script. I don't make notes for making my videos. Never have done, and I never will do. I went through a very, very short period of time of where I did make notes, and that's as far as it went. And even just talking about it makes my heart and my throat feel weird. I felt so constrained with just being myself because the constant feedback, probably a little bit like yourself, that I'd got from people over the years is that, and again, this is my attempt to, not be cringed out by my own stuff and my own power, right? Is that when people came to spend time with me, and this is our home, we've invited people, to our home, and they've either come and stayed with us for days, or we've run masterminds here at our home. We've run masterminds all over the place. I've even been to Spain and been asked to go and speak at other people's events because of my thing, because of the treasure and the experience that I have. And every single time, every person would say, do you know what's so great about Rich? He's just himself. He's just him. You know that if you sat down with him in his home and then you're at the event with him here, and then if you went down the shops with him, he's just going to be the same guy wherever you go. And he doesn't care. I'm like, yeah, that's just me. So for me personally, and this might be a little bit of you as well. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure you don't get blinded by that light. Is ensuring that you're not being constrained inside of your creativity or your genius by conforming to what Joe Blogs, the marketer or the social media guy tells you is right or wrong to do. Make sure you've got a hook. Make sure you've got something compelling. Make sure you move your phone around and you edit things really fast, to hold people's attention. Fuck off, Joe Blogs. I don't want to do that. And I'm not going to do that because I don't watch that content. It absolutely frazzles my fucking brain. And the level of uselessness inside of that type of content, I don't want to waste my life looking at it. So I don't want to contribute to that. And I'm not going to. So, and I know a lot of people, certainly a lot of guys and girls that I've looked after over the years, and they're like, oh, God, so I have to play this weird content game. And for a short period of time, I'll be really honest, I was like, maybe these guys are onto something. Maybe I do need to do this myself, and maybe I need to start teaching this stuff once I've found, personal success with it, and it just never gelled. It never stuck. I never continued with it, and instead, the big idea, with all of this first point I'm sharing is just turn the bloody camera on. If you've been doing your thing, in fact, I'm going to change arms. Hold on. It's now real unedited, this thing is. I've come outside and I'm holding on to the tripod with the camera on top. It's not a big camera, and I am a big, strong boy, but after holding it for over 10 minutes, my arm is starting to scream a little bit. But just know that the knowledge and the experience and the genius that you've already tapped into for all the time that you've been doing what you do as a coach, that is enough. That is the thing. That's what you need to talk about. Get out of your own way. Is that the right thing to say? It might be. It might not be the right thing. But whatever fits you, whatever shoe fits, of your situation right now, make that happen for yourself. I have made a commitment in the last few days. I almost had a sabbatical, this past year from content creation in general. And I was still taking care of, all the guys and girls that we have as clients and, working with other companies on other contracts doing the same thing. But I just didn't feel like I'd found my place and the way that I wanted to show up, and it to feel easy and fun and just not take energy away from me. I really don't believe that you should have a business that takes from you. I feel like it should give to other people just as much as it gives to you. Energetically, monetarily. Ooh, I'm going to get philosophical here. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with those 2 points, because otherwise I'm going to turn this into an absolute fucking monster. So that's the first thing. Second thing is not falling victim to having to create a scalable business. I can't even do my fingers right now. Hold on. Scalable business, because the one thing that I've had rammed down my neck for the last 12 years is what you are doing is not scalable. You're an idiot. You should definitely stop doing one-to-one. You should definitely productize yourself. You should definitely do more group. You should definitely have another coach. You should definitely have a setter. You should definitely have a fucking closer. Oh, good Lord. You should definitely have 25 funnels going. I don't fucking want to. It's as simple as that. And it's not a case of, well, I'm scared of those things. Maybe there are some elements, but we'll keep this focused on you. I know what I fucking love doing. I know what I get out of spending the time with the people that do find me, do come and work with my wife and I, come to our masterminds, work with us one-to-one. It's magical. And they all agree. Does it need to be anything else? Does it need to adapt? Does it need to change? So don't fall into the trap of being told that there is one way of doing things. It's getting cold out here. You absolutely don't. If you've found a thing and you're like, I really love this, I really enjoy this, and it brings out the best in you, then that's the thing. If the only reason you're in the business and you've got the business is just purely to make money, then in my opinion and my experience, you're not in the right niche, maybe the right industry. I don't know. You can analyze that one for yourself, because I don't know you personally enough. But if the thing that you're doing brings you such deep levels of joy, and it gives you the money that will build your future, it gives you the things that you need right now and more, and it will continue to grow, then that's your thing. small side story or just input into this, this one particular little bullet note is a lot of the guys and girls that you probably have a lot of respect for, have written books, #1 bestsellers. They did the years on the circuit. They looked after people one-to-one, and then they had a go at bringing a book out, and they did other people's events. And then eventually the momentum and the accrued compounding effect of sticking in their fucking lane came to fruition, and then the lid came off, from not changing a thing. So don't be afraid of that. You don't have to be listen to the Scale Bros. You don't. You really don't. And then is there a third point on this? To help you with your current situation? What other thing would I give you? Yeah. The biggest one, because I'm trying to keep it like the top three. Otherwise, I'd run amok on this, and you'd be like, "This is like Lord of the Rings. Why has he made it this long?" It would be the use of AI. It would be the use of AI, and it would be to either completely eradicate that from your creative spin up, ideation, whatever you're currently using it for. If you're using it to write copy, if you're using it to write scripts, I would stop, or I would absolutely minimize it down to nothingness. Because I've been creating videos and content and writing blogs for years, since I left the military. And even before that as well, I was writing. And the whole notion would be based on what I know, my experience, not, oh, right, ChatGPT, this is the kind of person I am and the kind of coach I am, and this is my avatar. What problems do they have? Or this is one client that I've got and what they're experiencing. Give me 50 ideas for content that I can write. Guess what? Every other mofo in the world is doing exactly the same thing. And you don't need to fact check me. You already know this because you're going, yeah, everywhere I go, no matter what type of coach, everyone sounds exactly the same. Right? Everyone sounds exactly the same. They're just clones and replicas of each other. Are we actually in the Matrix? Who fucking knows? But you're nodding and you're going, yeah, you're totally fucking right. So back in the day, not to sound too much like a fucking old guy at this point, the most I would have at my disposal would be a thesaurus to try and make words sound a little bit cooler and a little bit smarter than the ones I had already come up with. That's it. That's it. A whiteboard is really handy. A massive whiteboard, in fact, because then, you can just scribble and draw genitals, and all that sort of stuff on them. That's always good for ideation and content creation. But get rid of AI. Honestly, remove it altogether. Stop looking at other people's content, right? For ideas and ways of doing things and following viral trends. That is not going to attract the people that you want. It's just not. And you know that in your heart of hearts. And that's what makes it so hard for you to show up and create content, or for content to just feel like this empty mockery of a process, rather than it being something that actually brings you energy, injects back into you, and then that transference of energy attracts and magnetizes the right people for your coaching business. Wild idea, right? Whew. So don't sit on these things. Just those three things alone have taken me years to move through, make mistakes around, and observe inside of hundreds upon hundreds of other coaching businesses, people that I've looked after, other businesses that have pulled me in to contract me to do a specific job, like big fucking businesses, and also working for non-coaching type businesses as well. So a long time ago, I worked for Dell, Intel, Microsoft, a few of the other really big tech giants, and they got me to go in. I had some credibility, you see, when I left when I left the military, and they wanted me for my particular certifications, number one, but number two, because I wasn't a nerd. I am a nerd, but I don't look like a nerd. They got me to go in and basically teach their nerds how to sell and stop being fucking nerds in a lot of the stores that sold computers around the UK. What was my point in sharing that? Apart from it sounded like a really fucking cringy way to give myself authority. What was the point? Here's a real situation for you. This is what happens when you get a little bit older and you crouch down in your garden next to a bit of your own dog's dog shit. But now you're getting to know me. Do you know what I mean? And while I collect my thoughts, this is my point. You know, like if you just polish things up too much and just, I don't know, create content the way that you think it needs to be made with all these perfect edges and a little bow on top and perfect perfume in it. It needs to stink sometimes. Literally. It needs to have the parts of you showing who you actually are. If you're a nervous perverse, then you kind of need to show that. If you're a loud, over the top, eccentric, extroverted, I don't know, cravat wearing individual, then you need to show that as well, because then you're bringing your people who are like, I like this guy, I like this girl, that's what I want to be a part of. I want to be in their world. Like everything they're saying is so infectious. Because on the other side of that, there's also the people that are like, I can't stand that fucking dude. Unfollow, or they just pass right on by. And that's the point too with marketing that a lot of people get hung up on or lost on, is the idea that we're supposed to repel more people than we're supposed to attract. There's another wild idea for you on a Sunday evening. But take those three things that I've shared with you. I can't remember what my point was with sharing about doing stuff for other people. Was it around AI? Was it around creativity? Something like that. Even the big guys, that's one of my points I was going to share with you. Even the big tech companies back in the day, they would literally sit around a big table, tons of coffee, chocolate biscuits, and it would be a whiteboard, everyone with the pens and pads and a thesaurus out, and it'd be like, right, ideas, let's go. And that's how they'd come up with marketing campaigns. Are those companies now using AI? Probably. Is it as good? Who knows? However, the only way that the marketing got to be as good as it is now is because people were daring enough and bold enough to test things without all of that crap in the first place. At some point, will people be looking in on the more raw, unedited, this is who I am, type of content that I guess I'm referencing here and now? Maybe. But you can't fake it. That's the cool thing about it. If you're an expert like you are, and you've got years of experience and tons of people you've already looked after, no one can replicate that. People can't tell stories about what you've done like you can. Dead simple, right? You get the point. You've been great. I'm going to switch off now and go back inside because my fingers are going numb. I'll see you soon.